rid of the limitations. This is really, really key. The entire element of collaboration. We should take more advantage of it. We have no excuse to not even listen to what has happened before. And it's a big difference when everybody is happy doing what they're doing and they want to be a part of it.
This season was brought to you by the Belize Public Utilities Commission.
Did you know the Public Utilities Commission is mandated to manage the frequency spectrum of Belize? The PUC uses specialized tools to perform that task. The telecommunications monitoring vehicle is specifically designed to detect, measure, and locate signals that actively use spectrum. These actions are taken to ensure compliance for authorized users and detect illegal use. The Public Utilities Commission. We continue to serve you with efficient and diligent services.
Hey guys, welcome back for another edition of the Creative Monday Discussion Show. I'm your host, Mervin, Budram, and I will be with you for the next hour. I am really excited about today's segment. You know, I'm always excited. I know that's kind of like my thing, but part of that is because I get to talk with really inspirational people from all over the world. And today I'm actually speaking to someone from Belize. He is one of my heroes. He is a musical icon in my eyes. He has definitely inspired me in my own personal music journey. And today I have an opportunity to talk with Mr. Obando. He is I would say the manager of the Garifuna Collectives. I believe he has been one of those guys who have helped to pioneer the Belize music industry, right? And so today we will have a conversation around music, around the business side, around the creativity side, and just getting to know Al a little bit more. So I just want to welcome Mr. Obando to the Creative Monday Discussion stage. Hey Al, how are you? Welcome to the Creative
Monday. Good man. Thanks for the invitation. And we talked before, and let's see how this vibe go. I like this whole platform and everything look nice, everything look good. But yes, so I'm ready.
Awesome.
The discussion is
definitely. I know the last time you were with us, we were in the beginning. I remember when we started the show, you were actually one of the first guests, along with Steve, Dale, and we were talking about the technical side of streaming and getting online. And man, that was a year ago, or over a year ago. That was a while back. We were in the middle.
You got it now, though.
I think we've nailed it down. I think we've mastered it a little bit. I think we're doing much better than when we were started. Back then, we were like just figuring out on our phones and trying to find these little technology. But I think we're getting it right. So
I think like with everybody else got a good understanding of how play the catch-up game, and everybody already knows. So that's content developing, everything else wrong it now.
Yeah.
That the out of the way now, the technical part, so we're good.
Exactly. And making sure the content is good, the content is excellent, and it's where it needs to be. So Al, a lot of people know you in Belize. And I know there's some folks that know you at different parts of the world, but we have some audience that might not know who you are. So tell us a little bit about who you are, kind of like your background, your passion, and what you're doing.
Well, I would say I've been in the music industry from a really young age. I always try to use the number or the year 1989. That's the time I've been truly involved. Like fooling with equipment, just getting the understanding, and the way I explain it is my journey and experience took me through like messing up everything, burn up equipment, using equipment wrongly, but using it to our discretion, right, and to our knowledge we had at that time.
Yeah.
So basically, that describes like mostly everything in terms of these are like total trial and error. And what happened is that actually allowed us like me, myself, and all the people around me who were involved to like educate ourselves.
Yeah.
And so we did like a lot of like soul searching in like the music industry, you know, like even like learning stuff, reading stuff, getting information. I had like a pile of books. The pile of books I used to read them page by page.
Man.
Man, I say how these things work, you know, and then like, but then with many other people, I believe we read the manual after we don't mess up the equipment, right?
It's true.
They want to know why. Then afterwards, and even it took years. It took years of like trial and error, man, and just learning stuff. But through that time, it actually allowed us to become confident.
Yeah.
And so I work with, man, countless. I grew up in Dangriga, went to ecumenical college, then eventually Belize City, St. John's College, Sixth Farm. And what happened is that I met good people and good bands.
Yeah.
Like phasing out. I came right in that phase where like bands like Sounds Incorporated were right at the end. But I met a lot of people at the beginning too. You know, Ugro were coming out, the different bands like that. So I met groups like Punta Rebels, Africa Boys, you know. I met like yourself, you know, with all the private, all the gospel people, man, like church stuff, helping out. And I was like the go-to person to like solve little problems. And even if I didn't know, I would find a way to like figure out the issues. And that was and up to now it's still the same. Nothing changed, you know, up to that kind of way. And eventually we started getting into recording and understanding the industry more and stuff like that. And so eventually I was asked to be a part of the Garifuna Collective along with Ivan Duran from Stone Tree Records. And it was like really, really good. It was a really, really inspirational time in terms of like meeting like the elder guys who are not with us anymore, you know, like Paul Nabor and the Palacio, like Justo, Raschi, you know, all the guys I used to be with. I used to watch these guys like operate. All I used to do was like come and make sure the equipment was set up right. But eventually we took more responsibility and we make it more of our own. Then it became more of our own personality. So everything else became like totally like control. We wanted to like take control of more stuff. And up to today, you know, like the music and stuff, that's what we have now. And eventually we had an opportunity to travel and tour. And that to me is like a big step in my life. Yeah. In terms of like, and I always say like, I wish like every stage I go on, I wish there was another Belizean band coming up next. And up to now, I still don't see why. Why not? There should be more. And I know we have enough people in Belize in terms of like talent and content and it's just, to me, it's just like a matter of the business. It's not we not like take advantage of it yet. Yeah. But people out there waiting, man. People out there waiting, and it's a good feeling when you can come up with the idea of a song. Yeah. And know one day that you could actually play this song or actually have an opportunity to play this song on a stage beside your own people, beside your own diaspora and in another part of the world. And that's what keeps me going. Like you know, like if I start working on a song right now, I know that within 1 year or a year and a half, I will be playing these same lines in France or in the UK or in Switzerland or, you know, Afro Kingston Festival or some festival. And it's a good like feeling. It's different, and I think that experience is what is lacking from our own artists and musicians, right? Like there's this amount of limitations that we are not even we have to experience it in our lives. Yeah. And for us and the people I work with, you know, it's a big accomplishment for us to like even to say something like this. Yeah, like I've seen like I'm surrounded by musicians who have never left the country, like to even explore or to even get that feel, that vibe of how other people appreciate you and your art. Yeah, and they respect people all over the world have like for music and everything that is like your original own. You know,
Yeah.
like that's a different thing.
Why do you think that? Because I know what you're talking about. I've had that experience. I've had the honor and the privilege of performing on stages outside of Belize. I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but you know, I was brought to Taiwan to present one of my songs. I remember stepping on a stage in Canada, and when I remember the first time stepping on a stage in Canada, 60,000 people, I couldn't catch my breath. I was like, had to take a deep breath, you know. But I've had that experience in the gospel space in my music. I've performed in Barbados. Fields of people, they're standing on the stage and there's just fields of people. But you're right, a lot of artists have not had that opportunity. Do you feel like it's because of maybe the industry in Belize? It's because of the structure, a lack of knowledge? Like, is there a science behind this?
There is a science.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit. What's the science?
There is a science. Yes. And so I don't know this. There's no blame game involved.
Yeah.
And to be real, right, there's no blame game involved. This is like I don't want to say hard work. And even if it's hard work, it has to be like happy work.
Yeah.
Joyful work that you want to do it. Because at the end of the day, it's up to you like to make it happen, right? But yes, there are technical situations that you have to deal with.
Yeah.
Like there is no way around it in terms of you have an album, you have a song, you have something intellectual you want to share with the world. Your marketing has to be right. The people involved, the team, and I think one of the biggest things that we're not introduced to in Belize is the idea of a team making something happen.
Yeah.
No artist, not even us, not even myself. When I speak like this, it's because hundreds, I would say like a bunch of people involved in terms of making it happen. And so most people out there have a huge team, and everybody is specific, has a specific job and a specific responsibility. And so even simple thing like having a publicist, you know, after you have your stuff, you have your works and your music, and you think you have everything packaged. Like how do you get into another space?
Yeah.
How do you get into another country? How do you get to a festival in Toronto or Canada or South America? So with things like this, you have to like know people. You have to understand how the music industry works. You have to get like start to attend like workshops, meet the agents, the people who are responsible for these events in that specific area. And you have to sell yourself to them. And everybody, just like you would know by now, is that they want to know that they're buying something or they're presenting something that is more than just music. That's more. There's an experience involved, and there's something bigger than what it is. And so you are tasked with that, right? You are tasked with that. Fortunately for us, what we have is when I say us, I mean with the band I tour with, the Garifuna Collective, and what we have is this highly respected culture from the Garifuna people.
Yeah.
And what we have is a set of melodies and songs that will live, that has lived on and will live after us and will continue to live on. These melodies are really deep. The messages is the story. There is something behind it that people will always appreciate and they understand it. So you know, like so going back to what you asked is that you have to like really represent something.
Yeah.
You know, you have to represent something, and you have to like give up a lot of stuff to like even represent one thing if you like. The biggest artists, for example, took like political stands. You take Bob Marley, for example. He preached the message of one love straight through.
Yeah.
You know, he never changed. You have like other big artists, they take one thing and they go with it, and people become they become followers of that message, right? And that's the key. And people are happy. Presenters, festival owners, countries all over the world, and they're happy to like make you a part of it, a part of their festival and part of their music scene. And not talk too much about it. There is ways, and we are glad that from our experience we share a lot. Like myself and our band members, we talk to a lot of people and we share our experience with them. We are still learning every time.
Yeah.
No year is the same. You always have new situations and like I wouldn't say problems, but more situations that you have to deal with. But we find a way. We find a way, and it's what I would say is that like traveling internationally and touring, it's not for everybody.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you would have to like really make up your mind, and you only see you only see like the front of it, and you see people involved and stuff. But it's a hard thing. I've seen people like give up. People like like they can't leave their family for a long time.
Yeah.
All this stuff, like everything becomes an issue, and so it's like only like the seasoned people like I see on the road. Like even when I travel year after year, I meet the same set of people. There's one set of people in the world doing this, and so for you to fit in, for you to fit in, it takes a while. It takes a while for you to like really reach to that area and
it's true
and position. I guess you have had certain experiences already, and you might know, right? But and you would say, man, I don't think I could do this again.
Yeah.
But especially with us here from Belize, one of the biggest challenges is that we are still trying to sell what we have. Yes,
explain that.
We are still trying to sell. That means we don't have a market yet. We don't have a market. We have, you could say, like people giving you a break.
Yeah,
you are given a break. I mean, you are given a break based on like your music stuff. We don't. I could give you a simple example. We had this. We were touring in Europe once, and we had an agent. And we dropped the agent for a bigger agent because the other agent have more artists and more acts. I said, what? Well, this new agent, because they have a lot of people under their bed, we are getting more gigs now, and we are getting more jobs and stuff. And 1 year later, the agent, although we had like 40 gigs in Europe that year, all over Europe, I remember clearly they called us. And they told us that we don't make financial sense to them.
Wow.
Yes, it's true. And if you look at it, it doesn't make any sense. They're actually managing and touring like 125 groups.
Yeah.
Right? The other groups have like 200 gigs, 250 gigs. We have 40 gigs. And the same amount of time and energy it would take for you to assign one person to our group. The commission they make doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
they can't even pay somebody enough to make sure all the flights, hotels, accommodation, transportation from venue to wherever you're going. That whole entire road book is met. It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and I'm actually involved in that in time, making sure all those details, right? But I'm just sharing that with you in terms of so we had to change agent again. But that's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. And people will be honest with you.
Yeah.
Right? Like even though they get the gigs, you are not getting the gigs that will sustain nobody, even them or us eventually, right? So what happened is that we are still doing this in terms of like almost like on our own, taking the risk, taking the chances, and hoping, this is the point now, hoping that the music we play will trigger and will come across to the audience or the festival people or somebody who was there to say, man, we like this group, we like the vibe, we don't mind getting them again, or we will recommend them to another presenter somewhere and stuff like that. So you are actually on that marketing front the entire time. But the Belizean music, the music from Belize, we still don't have like that one track yet.
Yeah.
That will sell the country, that will sell So once you say Belize, okay, there's
they have that
10,000
song.
people
There's a
guaranteed.
song from Belize you can expect.
Yes, exactly. And that's
I know what
we're trying.
I know what you mean, Al. I remember I was in, if I could inject, I was in Barbados when I was performing in Barbados, and I remember we stepped on the stage. I had my songs. I did some of my reggae songs. I did some of my soca songs, and then this older guy. I remember this older guy than me, like stepped on the stage and did a soca, and I sat down because I was like, okay, he was way older than me, but he had soca on lock. When we went on the stage and we did one of our paranda, one of my songs, Give Life, which starts with this paranda vibes and then it goes into a punta vibes. Then the crowd stopped, looked, and it's like, what's that song? And that's when I realized that, I remember for me, that was when I got that rude awakening that what's unique about me, what's different about me that I'm taking, this was in the Caribbean, I'm taking into the Caribbean region, that's unique and different about me that's coming out of Belize. And I think that's something maybe we can talk about. Like we're talking about that song that we have as a people. And yes, I know there's all the modern popular songs, but what's that unique song that we can export from Belize and say this is a fusion of song that we can expect?
Yes. So that is the key. That is why you are booked. That is why, especially with us. And you know what, Mervin, I think Belize from the 40s, 50s, 60s, in terms of the music in those times and those eras, 70s, 80s, Belize has a sound.
Yeah.
And Belize has a sound like nobody else. Even if they tell us to play back a track, it will be a Belize version.
Yeah.
It will be a Belize sound. So we have a sound, and it's respected actually.
Yeah.
And so with us though, with what we do, that element of being unique, being authentic is really important. There is no excuse for not coming across that in that kind of light. The way I went to a workshop once, and this is like my way how to like summarize this situation. The entire world has like music.
Yeah.
Right. And there's this big pot of music, this big boiling pot of all type of music, all type of genre of music. And in this big pot, or this big space, or this big circle, in this pie, there is a space for you in there. And your space is unmatched and unique, and nobody can duplicate it.
Yeah.
But unless you put your slot in that pie, then until then you will exist. Yes, so that the space is there for you. So there is no reason why you shouldn't be original or authentic.
Yeah.
Right? You don't need to. You don't need to. If you try to put your music in a slice or at a space that exists already, it's only going to clam up an area, and people will make choice. Then you will give people the option of.
Yeah.
And I've seen that. I've lived that, man. I've seen it. Like I've seen presenters talk. I attend a lot of meetings with like owners, festival owners, and I hear how fast they make decisions. They don't waste time. If you come and they listen to your music, they automatically their mind is quick. So they say, oh, this sounds like reggae, or this sounds like cumbia, or this sounds like something from, and they know exactly where it comes from. And if they want it, they would go to the original source. They won't hire the person making a version of it.
Yeah.
Because they are selling themselves. They are marketing their festival. They're doing the same thing you are doing. And they want to be on top of their game too. So they want to know when their flyer come out for 2022, they're on top of the game. Yeah. So when people say, oh my, this is like, man, this is the best person who plays this music on this lineup. And that's how it works. Yeah. So you have to like be the best in your area.
Yeah.
Like be the best in your area, and try keep up your area, and dedicate yourself to your sound. I mean, and for us, many Belizeans have tried already, and I don't like to use the word give up, but we have not had like enough success stories.
Yeah.
But in a way, Mervin, and we always talk about this, and even Ivan and people like we talk to in the industry, We are glad. We are glad that no musician is a billionaire yet in Belize. Yes, because that would be chaos and problem.
Yeah.
To me, like I that one element of it, I really try to stay far away from.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole different ball game when it comes to mainstream and how that happens and how it works. Man, like when you listen to like real people talk, like real people, like common people like us, we are like that whole element of mainstream is like way beyond us.
Yeah.
And we would never get there. We don't need to get there in terms of like you personally in music and stuff like that. So we have to find our own joy and happiness in like what we have and push, you know, and even if our audience is a smaller audience, but you know that whatever you're doing for the right purpose.
Yeah.
Right? But, you know, and you're representing the right elements, and all you're doing is keeping it up and keeping up to that level so people from who comes behind could follow and have something to follow with.
Yeah. Someone told me this recently, and it's true. You can make $1 million by doing one item and try to sell it for $1 million, or you can do $1 million by finding something that's for $1 and find a million people to buy it for $1. So from what you're saying, that's what I'm hearing as well. Find your niche, find your audience, find, you know, Al, you told me something when we were working on my one of my songs. You said, you know, Mervin, if you're going to be a Christian artist, be a Christian artist. If you're going to be a soca artist, be a soca artist. If you're going to be a paranda artist, be a paranda artist. But go hard. If you're going to do it, go all in. Learn that industry, learn the language, learn how it operates, and go after it, right? And so a lot of my success have been that because I've from a young age, I made it clear what type of artist I am, what type of songs I sing, what type of lyrics I sing. And so for me, I capitalize on my faith. I capitalize on that industry. And that has opened doors for me, right? So right now, I'm actually on a project that, I mean, we're doing interviews in Trinidad and Bahamas. This weekend, I have one in Jamaica. And it's not necessarily the Belizean traditional song, but it's my lyrics and the content that I brought, because that's what I capitalize on, right? So I'm sharing that to say what you're talking about is key in identifying that uniqueness about yourself and then go hard after it. Put in the work, put in the time, and find those joy moments as well. Find that purpose that's beyond just the money. You know, Al, one of the questions I do have for you, Al, you've been talking about this. You've been in it for years, from 1989, I believe you said, learning new technologies, breaking it, fixing it, and all of that, becoming that resource person. What would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned on your journey that young upcoming artists should take heed and pay attention to?
Being humble. Being humble. Being able to like listen and respect every music and respect everybody input, right? Basically, don't look down on anybody, don't look up to anybody in a no kind of way. Like you just respect everybody on that level, and you know, just try work with everybody, right? And in terms of and being able to like help. If you have knowledge, if you have something you know, and you see somebody like just like need the help, you should help. You should help or give them advice on from your experience, right? You're not like telling them what to do, but you could base it on your experience and what you have gone through, right? So but your specific question is like more what advice I would give them? Or?
Yeah, what if, you know, if a young upcoming artist, they want to get into the music space, what should they really focus on? What have you learned that you think could be an asset for them in their journey?
Well, I would advise them not to mix things. Not to mix things. Decide if you will be the artist. Decide if you will be the artist writing the song. Decide if you will be the artist on stage. Decide if you will be the person marketing yourself. But pick one, maybe two. You know, maybe 2 or 3. But get a team together.
Yeah,
I've seen some of the biggest things is like I've seen here in Belize is that you have artists who could write but don't have a stage presence. They're not designed for stage. but they try, and then it's flat, because then you might not, you should have given that to somebody else with your lyrics and with your melodies, and give it to somebody else to deliver. You might not be the person to deliver it on stage, but you might be the person to sing it in a studio.
Wow.
You know, and so it's different. It's different. And I think the next advice in this case would be getting to know the music industry, and that whole element of intellectual property, copyright, who owns what, who doesn't own what, how the recording things work with a studio, how do you go about this? Because people say, man, but then I lose out on the live gigs. But it's a shame, because we haven't had like enough ways for like be compensated for like even songwriting.
Yeah.
You know, even though it's registered and stuff, we don't have a way to collect, to get paid. I mean, we have ways in terms of like international PROs and like ASCAP and BMI and songwriters and stuff, but we don't have the amount of plays and stuff for making a majority of money, major amount of money off of it. But yeah, so I would say like, actually some people in the music industry I've seen would be great managers.
Yeah.
They would make like excellent road managers. Man, I tell you, I've seen it. I see them and I know them, right? But then, so keep the passion going for the music, but understand that music is not just what you see on that television in terms of that person in a video or something like that. There's the other elements that exist, and this is what I am is lacking. I don't even know if we have like a publicist here in Belize. Like in the industry, in the genre of music, we are in world music, right?
Yeah.
We're considered to be world music. And so we have our publicists we go to. If you release something, you have your 1, 2, 3, 4 publicists in the world that you would contact. Why? Because they know how to write your story.
Yeah.
They feel what you feel. And after, when they write your story, they have the correct publications to take it to. Because even if they write it and hold it to themselves, that doesn't make any sense. But they know the one magazine, the one newspaper, the one article that this has to be in.
Shining Star Health Center, located in Spanish Lookout, is committed to providing you with the very best holistic solution to any ailment, regardless of who you are, where you come from, or what you're going through. For more information, contact Shining Star Health Center at 672-3536 or 670-3536.
Paper, the one article that this has to be in, that the majority or the mass amount of people will see and will go to for information.
Oh.
Right? So a simple thing like that, like who reviews anybody here in Belize? We need that. We need like more people like that. We need like more people understanding like how to market, get a band ready for the road, touring internationally. We only hear about it, but nobody gets involved.
Yeah.
And so what happened is that we have to do all these things ourselves, like simple thing like traveling. We have some gigs right now for Europe starting July 25th. And this will be like, for me, if I check my email right now, there's an update from the agent.
Yeah.
And it's simple stuff. And this will be like everyday work until the tour ends. Something that somebody needs a response to, and you have to answer and make sure as you go along. Then you have this whole element of traveling when it comes to like traveling to different countries in terms of visas, getting the right license and everything to perform. All of this we take on our own, you know, and it's a big task. It's a big task, and so you have to have like one person in charge
assigned to that. Yeah.
Yes, assigned to it. So it's like this is like non-stop.
Yeah.
And talking with you now, this is like what I've been doing for like years, without anybody know.
Yeah.
So like I have this. I have like this afternoon. I have a Mikey just called me and say there's a church group coming in. He wants to set up a sound system 2 o'clock. Then I have a next gig tonight to play bass for another group. Then tomorrow I'm setting up a system for so it's like that every day.
Yeah.
It's like that every day. We have this project we're working on right now with you guys, mixing stuff. And so, it's just like it's ongoing. So that is like my life and what I've been going through. It's like nonstop, and I'm happy to be a part of it. And that's why I say, like, when I make a track or I'm involved with the band, like doing something, I feel really good.
Yeah.
I feel satisfied when I could do something, and I know that in June or July, I'm saying, like, I could play this track in France, in the Czech Republic where we'll be, and in Warsaw, in the UK. We will do a big festival. Womad is one of the biggest festivals there in the UK. We're happy to like be invited for stuff like that. And all of this is because this is just like dedicating yourself in terms of like when you do something, and the entire team. It's no one person involved. This is like a lot of people involved.
I wanna go back to that, because I think from what you're saying, you're exposing the reality of what really needs to happen in Belize if our music is gonna. And I'm not even talking about, because I agree with you, it's not even so much about mainstream, but it's about finding our niche, finding ourselves, finding our industry, finding our people, finding those who will buy and run with what we're producing and releasing, right? But do you think our entire industry needs an overhaul? And if so, what process do you think the industry? Because I find I'm very passionate about the industry. I mean, from I was a kid, I've seen artists come up and everyone can knock a pan, play a lead keyboard, ping, cling, cling, and then we come up and then you fade out over time because you kind of hit a cap, and where do you go with next? So for me, because of that, it's stirred a passion in my heart to see the industry side of music starts to grow. And so what you're talking about, everyone finding their place, everyone knowing like, but for me, I realize I'm very good at certain aspects of the industry. I'm horrible at mixing. I would never mix my own music. I even came to a point when I realized, if I'm gonna do reggae, I'm not the best reggae producer. So find someone who's good at that.
Correct.
So,
yes.
So do you think that overhaul is needed? Do you think something needs to happen? And what would, from your experience, what needs to happen in our industry to vitalize it and get it to where it needs to go?
Yeah. I think what needs to happen is getting rid of the limitations, right? In terms of trying to say this is it. You mentioned something just now, and I think this is key. This is really, really key. The entire element of collaboration.
Yeah.
Man, we should take more advantage of it.
Yeah.
Just like how we are inspired by other sounds, other rhythms, as artists and musicians, we have unique stuff that everybody else would want. We just don't know, right? We just don't think so. We just don't think so. But trust me, I tell you, I've seen it. One thing with us as Belizeans, we tend to have like that whole less is more mentality, and a lot of people respect us for that. Like we're not complex, we're not complicated, right? And when you meet a group and you collaborate with somebody else, that simplicity is what they really, really respect. They're like, well, how you do this?
Yeah.
We really do so much things, but then it could still work with simple stuff. And so and that to me is like really, 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 really important to understand, right? In terms of overhaul, I wouldn't say overhaul, but I would say like more education.
Yeah.
More less ignorance, more people like stepping up and learning more stuff and being appreciative of what we have. I think I notice especially you mentioned with the younger ones coming up, and it's a good time to say this now. I think a lot of musicians and artists in Belize, we don't have no clue of our history in music. We have no idea of what has happened in Belize. Like, how many people has like took the time to like sit with Lord Rayban, sit with Brother David, sit with Chico Ramos, sit with Lucio from up north, or the older musicians, like, and just talk to them a little while, and you will get the sense. You will quickly realize that you are doing something that people has been doing for years.
Yeah.
Because most people think they're doing something for the first time, right? I say, no, it's not. You're just we are just memories and inspiration from other people going along, and we are trying to come up with our own stuff. But when you talk to other people, I think this is a big issue. We don't have like no clue. Like I still have like listen to like the records from the 70s, like from like Rayban, the Professionals, and as a studio engineer and mixer, I still don't know how those guys created those sounds.
It's true.
I know what they did in terms of like the whole experience, but they imagine a story like this. The Professionals or like Rayban, along with like people like Compton Fairweather, who used to take on this stuff. CES Records is one of the first labels in Belize. Right, these guys used to take all the equipment from Belize, put it on a plane, fly to New York, rent a studio, take the equipment, put it in the studio, play one take, everybody behind the instrument, record an album in like 1 day or 2 max. The band would go home and do a gig in New York, fly back, and then the Compton would stay like 3 days after to mix the album.
Wow.
Album done. Then when you hear the results, these guys used to sell 50,000 copies.
Wow.
40,000 copies. You take that to anybody right now, and you say, I challenge you to do this. Try it. Just try it. Any artist. Right? And you listen to all these stories and say, how these guys did that. And like this stuff like inspirational to me. Like I have no clue how they did it. I don't even want to know how they do it, but I know it was hard work.
Yeah.
Right? And it was, but that was at that time, that's how music was at that time for everybody. Not just for Belizean, but everybody used to record, have a special way how they record, and that's how they ended up with, like, you hear about sound from the 60s, sound from the 70s, sound from the 80s with all the electronic components, 90s sound, 2000, and then so here we are now.
Yeah.
So we have no excuse.
Yeah.
To not even listen to what has happened before, and take advantage and take like inspiration from those stuff, and because, as you know, right, people get into it, and all of a sudden, most artists, I see them do it. It takes a while for them to like realize, man, I was just messing up all the while, and this actually sounds good. How can I do? They get more in quote professional after a while. They get more comfortable. They realize that it doesn't take, and they realize that it takes a team. They realize that I need a mixer, I need a good engineer, I need an arranger. Man, I'm not the best songwriter. I need some good lyrics. And simple things like this. Man, I need a good bass player. I can't play bass good enough, or I should get a guitarist. I'll give you an example. Again, like the Watina album with the Palacio and the Garifuna Collective. The way I explain it is that we finished that album after all the recording and mixing was done. We said we're done. Right? We're done. Album done, ready for release. Right? Everything. And we had this guitarist from Honduras, Guayo, who we actually last couple weeks ago, he passed away.
Amen.
And he was like the backbone of all those recordings with Stone Tree from Watina come up in terms of guitars, right? So what happened, is that we sent it to him just randomly. I think Aurelio, he was working with Aurelio Martinez, and we just sent it to him. When the album when the songs came back, everything changed. Album passed, no release no more. This is like a whole new album again. One player, one guitarist from a different part of the world.
Yeah.
Although it's Honduras, different part of the world, right?
Yeah.
What happened is that you have musicians out there who understand the vibe you're trying to come across with.
Yeah, it's true.
So you don't need to like say, man, he's not a reggae musician, or he's not a cumbia artist, or he's not a reggaeton. No, musicians are musicians.
Yeah.
And once you respect everybody like that, you're gonna have like a big headway. We gave this guy this stuff, and like he whatever he played was right in line. Like even if you ask a Garifuna person, they would appreciate it.
Yeah.
Although he has nothing to do with the culture, he has nothing to do with anything Garifuna.
It's true.
And that's just an example, right? But that's how people respect you and your art.
Yeah.
When you send it to them,
yeah.
That's a level of respect people have for you and what you send them to work on. And that's like my philosophy. When people send things to me, I feel like, like, man, I hear all the possibilities.
Yeah.
I hear all options from all my experience. Like I say, man, this could be a lot more better. I say, but I wonder if these artists exposed to like all these options.
Yeah.
And I say, so you're saying something, Mervin? Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was gonna ask you hit on something just now, and I wanted to go there, but you're talking about they respect the music, they appreciate the music. Do you believe that there needs to be more appreciation from our people on a whole with the music that's being released? I know, because we always hear it, people, a lot of us like stuff from outside instead of what we're releasing and producing. I think it's not, I won't go hard line to say that's the case. I think it's changing. I think our people are evolving, and our people are starting to appreciate a lot more of what we have to give, especially in this time. But I guess my question would be, what can we do more as a people to appreciate, respect, and celebrate what's being created and produced here in Belize?
Yeah, just like the international presenters and festival owners, just like everybody else in every other part of the world, our own Belizean diaspora and population, they have a good idea.
Yeah.
They have a good idea of who is real and who is not real. They know exactly what is true and what is not true. They know what is fake and what is not fake. Believe it or not. They know exactly. You might think they are novice, or they don't. People say, "Oh, the people don't know. They don't know where they come from," and they know. They know exactly where your inspiration came from. They could even tell you if you ask randomly.
Yeah.
So they are paying attention. Trust me, the population they're paying attention. People know, right? Like, and it's just amazing, and that's how they react. That's how they react. And so what triggers them is how you could manipulate your vibe and your story and your music to be more in line with what they're thinking, right? Like and you could take this to like anything. I did a show last week, and like they had these guys rapping, and everybody knew the songs. Everybody in that audience knew the songs. Everybody was singing. Everybody was having fun, right? And that's, to me, that's a good thing. That means somebody is doing something correct.
Yeah. Somebody
is doing something correct. And just like you said, you would never know. I mean, I don't put you on the spot, but I'm sure, like when you perform on your stage,
yeah,
even if people don't react to your lyrics, or if they hear the song for the first time, they know the style.
Yeah.
They know the vibe, they know what you're trying to do, they know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And so they respond to that. Right? And it's the same thing when we travel internationally. People always ask us, do people understand what you're saying? That doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Because we are on stage with people from, especially with the type of music we're in, the world music category, we are bombarded by a bunch of African people, Australia, European, Scandinavians, people with their own languages, people from South America, you know, with their own indigenous tribes and people, and you barely hear any English.
Yeah.
Or what we understand, but
The song.
we react like right away, like, you know, it's a good song or it's not.
Yeah.
You know, it's either a good song or it's not. And that's how it works. So for yourself, you have to make sure like you have that element, right? You have to be confident with what you're playing, what
Yeah.
you're doing, and you have to make sure that you know, you have to give the people the best version of what you are, right? And people will react. People will react, especially like one Belizean people and population. They react. Man. I think we only what our Belizean people, I think you're asking about, is like, when it says support, is that financially we won't get it from them.
Yeah.
We weren't designed like the population is too small, and even if people would support financially, it's really a hard task. And so like you will have to like eliminate that out of your brains one time. There's no way you're getting rich, especially in Belize. You know, it won't work.
Yeah.
But if that's your, then do something else. But then
Yeah.
to try it. But in music, no, this is a lot more for understanding, working what you have, and trying to make enough to like survive in terms of making more music and stuff. But at the same time, you know, like everybody have different versions of what is their success,
Yeah.
right? What is successful for them, and that's good. And that's why I don't like to compare like success stories.
Yeah.
Doesn't make much sense, because everybody's success level is relative.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people would say, "Oh, man, I made a track, I good." I said, "All right, good then." You know, that's good. Okay, good. That makes you happy, right? So and that amount of respect for everybody,
Yeah.
you know, and works, you know. But this is like continuous work, man. Continuous work. Trying to educate ourselves as we go along. Trying to make sure the music from Belize reaches as much people outside of Belize in terms of like other countries, other venues, and we have never had any vibe from Belize not respected or even wanted again at any venue, man.
Yeah.
It's an amazing feeling. It's a good thing. So even all of us together in Belize, in terms of all of us, the vibe, all the tradition we have held on strong to, all the song, the melodies, everything is working. Everything has a space, and we are just the people like presenting it.
Yeah.
And so that element is what we are actually doing. We are the presenters of this history, of this story. That's how we see ourselves.
You know, I'll and you know, we have about 10 more minutes, and as we're winding down, what I want to talk about, I remember we were coming and you told me about this Black Hat Bird song, and I was like, okay, this is so interesting. And we were talking about using our elements and talking about this. And I want to draw this up because you really touch on this. There's so much more in our culture. There's so much more in that we have that we can look around and draw inspiration to produce something unique. And many times we're just not looking, or many times we get tunnel vision, or we're just in this space. You were able to produce this song using birds. Talk to us about that process. Tell us a little bit about that. Fascinated me. When I listened to the song, I was blown away. I've been listening to that a lot. So talk to us a little bit about that.
The whole thing started me and my son was part of the Audubon Society, and he's into birding. So we got into birding, and so for years now. And so one of my friend Eli, who's part of our team from out of Montreal, Canada, he's always following people and attending workshops and crazy stuff, right? And he met this guy, Shika, who was doing an album to bring the awareness of the extinction of birds around the world. And so they started out with he started with this. I came up with this idea to hire producers in set countries, like they started South America, they started with South America, so they chose some producers and artists who would be willing to produce a song based on birds that are going extinct, or actually about to be extinct, to try to bring awareness to them. And then they would make this album, and all the funds made from it would go back to like their version of what Audubon Society in Belize did, their own conservation people and stuff to help with that, right, to maintain that situation. So there was a second album that Eli heard about that would be Central America and the Caribbean, Mexico, Central America and the Caribbean. The album was almost done when the guy was almost finishing in terms of like contacting everybody who would be involved. And I got in last minute and I told the guy, man, I would really like to have a chance to do something and make Belize be represented in this collaboration, this lineup, because he had everybody else except Belize in it, right? I talked about like Central America, Mexico, and the Caribbean. And he said, okay, so give me a chance to pick and find which bird is being extinct, going extinct in Belize or threatened in Belize, and he came up with 3 birds, and I picked the black cat bird, and I did this track, and I had no idea, what would happen, right? And from there we started out, and I downloaded all these sounds. He sent me some sounds, and we started, and we some members of the Garifuna Collective, we came out, and he asked us if we want to release it along with the collective. I said yes. That was just for marketing and everything, involved. We were all involved in it, so we wanted to like get the name, and so in this case we were working along with him, and that cat bird became like one of that was like like when you go to a promo album and there's one song you choose to promote the album, that became what I started playing like months before, and we did that song no voices. It was just the sound of the black cat bird, and man, we did some stuff there, man. I don't know. I did it like it was like 2-3 afternoons. I just spent a little time and I experimented with some electronic elements. I'm getting into like electronic music now and stuff. Visiting all these countries and hearing all my people talk. And so we did an experimental version of this song, man. And the song actually, when it came out, it was only on vinyl. The release was only on vinyl only, and downloads on vinyl, like digital downloads on vinyl. And I'm happy to say like the song is actually the #1 playlisted song on Spotify for the Garifuna Collective.
Wow!
Yeah,
congratulations on that.
So,
I'm watching on YouTube, and you guys have 38,000 views on that one. As well.
Versions, yeah. So what it did was it showed you, right, like you don't have to like, you could be inspired by anything around you.
Yeah.
But I think what the key with this one is we spoke about it earlier in this talk, was you have to represent something.
Yeah.
Right. And the team that was behind that project was huge. I had like BBC UK calling me for interviews, NPR radio calling me from the US. Same thing, how you got a little fascinated. They were like, what is this?
Yeah.
Right? And they were like, but how come you guys came up with this? And the whole idea, because people are conscious, and this whole idea of conservation and protecting the planet, protecting the earth for like future people, and especially like we still have animals and plants going extinct. It shouldn't be, right? And we should have more awareness of this, and people itself. And this was like right in line with what Andy Palacio actually wanted with the music from Belize. The song Amoyeg that that the Garifuna Collective sings. He spoke about who will be the one speaking this language, in the future. Who will be this one playing the music, playing the drums, and just carrying on this legacy. And the importance of protecting our children and teaching our children the entire history we have, so they could carry it on. So it was like right in line with that whole vibe and spirit. So we did that project there like that.
Man, well, I just want to say kudos. I really I personally love the song, and if that's okay, we're gonna end this segment with a little bit of the song so that people can hear it. Sure. I want to encourage people to go and listen to it, follow the Garifuna Collectives, follow all what they're doing. I'll just a couple questions as we're wrapping up. What would you say over the years of being in this industry has surprised you the most?
Surprised me the most? Man, Surprises. I have any surprises, man? It's strange. I don't know. Just oh well, just the human element, man.
Yeah.
The human element of how I would have thought like by now we would have transcended or passed or given up like a lot of things are like being a little more focused, but for some reason like generations after generations we are stuck in like one thing, man.
Yeah.
And we have to find space to like explore more, and especially we as Belizeans, we have to like find a way to help other people like be exposed
Yeah.
to other things and other things, meaning like other part of the world, like even traveling, you know. I noticed like we still have people in Dangriga who have never left Dangriga.
Yeah.
Have them even been to like Orange Walk, Punta Gorda, Corozal, you know, anywhere like, you know, like the trails, like the waterfalls, like you know, Pine Ridge. I say, man, something, you know, like we should have been more proactive with this as humans and people together, you know. And so it just surprises me, like we shouldn't be going through the same thing over and over. And that's one element that surprises me a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like it's like, why like this shouldn't be, right?
Yeah.
But I understand like the limitations of people too, and not having like the resources to get it done and stuff. But we should be more awareness, or we should be able to bring more things in, bring more things into like the communities and more, especially with children and people at younger age, to expose them to more stuff. Like even in the music industry, like we need more more real deal people coming in and sharing their vibe and stories and not beating around the bush much, like it's straight up to the point. You know, this is how it works, this is what we should do, and this is what works. And we are like living examples of this. We are living examples of this, man, and we try to be more have more spaces like this. And this talking we have here is like, man, every morning, every day somebody wants to talk about something, and it's good, man. It's good. It's good. I get into trouble a lot of time because it's talk too much and stuff.
Well, I think it's good. I think it's good
to help.
Yeah.
To help.
Change, transformation. Yeah, I believe change and transformation comes from conversation. Innovation comes from conversation. So we have to have conversations around these things if we're gonna see change and come from it, right? So I just really want to thank you for your time. Thank you for coming and sharing your experience, your journey with us. You know, around here we say in our studio with our team that treat every day like it's a Monday. And when we say that, it's because we believe that Monday is the day we come ready for the week. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing. We found our purpose. So every day we show up to deliver on that. When you hear treat every day like it's a Monday, what comes up for you?
Man, every morning, treat every morning like a Monday.
Yeah.
Every day you wake up. I think one of the biggest thing we could be grateful for is having life, right? Getting up every day and to be alive.
Yeah.
Once you are alive and living and healthy, man, that everything is possible.
Awesome.
It's endless.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Al. Thank you, guys. Man, this was a great segment. I trust that you guys took away, especially for those in the creative space, in the music space, you took away keys and nuggets. And I always tell people this, many times lessons are taught through conversations where they're caught and they're not necessarily taught. So as you listen, look for those nuggets that you can pull out. And I think collaboration is a key. Even as I was wrapping up just now, like he said something that resonated with me, the whole thing of making sure you're enjoying what you do, that you're having fun in what you're doing. If you're just showing up and it's a dread, you're just doing it for a paycheck and you're not enjoying it, you will not put out your best. You'll be exact in what you put out, right? You won't be able to pull that creative element the way that you want, right? But again, I want to thank you guys for watching the show. Thank you for being a part of the Creative Monday Discussion Show. We will see you on the next segment. And I want to say God bless you. Take care, and we're out. Bye.